Welcome to The Productive Life. I am excited to be doing a little bit of a different podcast than usual. We're going to be talking about some updates going on in my life and business that I want to share with you guys. Welcome to The Productive Life podcast hosted by me, Megan Minns. This is the podcast for entrepreneurs who want to be more productive in their business and their personal life. Because as a business owner, your business and personal life are connected, and we can't talk about one without talking about the other. Each week, you'll learn about productivity, organization, personal development, self-care, business strategies, and more. And now, let's get started. I'm recording this episode from my home office in Houston. It's getting dark outside. It's 7 o'clock. I've got a glass of red wine. And y'all, I don't have an outline for this episode because it's a bit more casual. It's a bit of a different type of episode than I've done so far. And it's really an update. There has been a lot happening behind the scenes since I started the podcast. And I just want to give you guys a little transparent update across all fronts. So business, personal, and everything else. So just go ahead and pour yourself a glass of whatever you like, your favorite tea, your favorite cocktail, a glass of wine, a cup of coffee, and let's catch up. While there has been a lot going on, I have to kick this off with just the biggest update of them all. So as you know, if you have been listening since the beginning of the podcast, I've been working full-time for one of my longtime friends, Mariah, and we've been working together since February of 2018, full-time. I've been actually working with her in different capacities since summer of 2015, if you can believe it. And it has been such an incredible journey. I've learned so much the past year and several months working full time with her, helping her build her business. And the biggest change that's been going on is that as of the week that this episode goes live, I am no longer an employee at her company. I'm actually self-employed again. I was self-employed from November 2015 up until February of 2018. So I've been self-employed before. And really just the past year and few months, I was a full-time employee and started side hustling again while growing my business on the side. Now, before you make any assumptions, I feel like anytime people do big updates like this, there's a lot of assumptions that can come into play. You think there's big drama or Mariah and I aren't friends anymore or anything like that. And it couldn't be farther from the truth. Mariah and I are still really, really good friends. We're still going to be collaborating together. You better believe I'm going to get her on this podcast sometime soon. And it's really not anything dramatic. So if you're looking for drama or some tea, this isn't it. And instead, it's really just been so great to go from having a client and contractor relationship to an employee and boss relationship and back to being really friends who are business besties who are supporting each other and building each other up and helping each other achieve our respective dreams. So that is the biggest change that's been going on. And this has actually been something that Mariah and I have been talking about for several months. It's been going on behind the scenes, super intentionally and slowly as we make sure that the company has a smooth transition as well as Mariah's clients. And y'all, it has been such an incredible journey to go through. I think anytime that a side hustler is leaving, or really anyone, you're leaving a job, it can feel really mixed. There's some excitement for the next step, but there's also a lot of uncertainty. There's doubts, there's fears, there's anxieties. There's a lot of unknown. And especially when you're leaving a job to go be self-employed, there is a ton of unknown and fear and anxiety kind of wrapped up in that decision. But it has been an incredible, I don't even have the words for it, which is unfortunate since this is a podcast, so I'll work on it. But it has been an incredible experience to go through this with Mariah, for us to have really honest and open and supportive conversations with each other on how we can each achieve what we're trying to achieve and how we can help one another get there and what changes need to happen for us to achieve our goals. So it is definitely a parting that is friendly with no drama. And I am so excited for her and her company and to continue to support them and cheer them on and work with them in a different kind of way instead of as an employee, but more of like a friend and a partner. So yeah, I'm self-employed again, you guys. So it doesn't mean I won't talk about side hustling. I've been doing it for a little over a year. I did it for a long time back in, 2012 to 2015. So I still feel like I have a lot to say about side hustling, but I do want you guys to know that I'm not a side hustler anymore. I am full-time self-employed working on my business, and this is my job again. And it's crazy because wow, it feels like I forgot how to do it in a way. You go from having really limited time and feeling like you just have the smallest amount of time to get things done to suddenly having all the time in the world. And that's a joy and something I'm so excited about and grateful for. But new challenges come up with that. If you're a self-employed or a full-time business owner, you felt it too. I felt it before the first time I made this transition, that it is a change. You're in total control of your time, which is what I love and am really looking for and looking forward to leaning into. But it is a total shift. So I'm excited to share this journey with you guys. You will notice that I'm going to be talking about this. The lens that we're talking through entrepreneurship might shift a little bit to be more focused on the full-time entrepreneur. I'll still be making sure that everything is relevant to side hustlers and pulling on some experts who are really great with side hustling tips and tricks, but I'm no longer a side hustler. So what does this mean for my business? So Megan Minns is now full-time. I'm all in. I'm 100%. And honestly, I have been since I started the podcast. It's been a pretty intense few months, especially the month of April. It's been very intense. It's been 100% all in at my full-time job like I have been, but really wrapping up big projects and major transitions. And then also ramping up my business and establishing new revenue streams, creating new products and creating podcast episodes consistently, and also growing a team. As of the time of this recording, I currently have 2 contractors that I work with. I have my virtual assistant / online business manager, Bev, who is such a good friend of mine. And I'm so excited that she's helping me out. She's been such a cheerleader and a supporter through this whole journey, really since the beginning of 2019. I mean, if not before, we've been friends, but really specifically, she's been cheering me on. And I'm so grateful for her support in the business and her helping me really think big and step into some big shoes and big dreams that I have that used to intimidate me. And now I'm just excited. But Bev helps me with my inbox. So if you ever email me, you probably heard back from Bev. She's so great at that. She's helping me create project plans. She's helping me hit my goals and strategize how I'm going to do that. And she is helping me mainly right now, as of the time of this recording, with a ton of content help. So I record the podcast episode and then she takes it off my hands from there. So she passes it on to our podcast editor, which I'll talk about in a second. And then she makes the blog post. She uploads it everywhere. She creates the descriptions based on the SEO keywords I give her and the titles I give her. And she creates the graphics in Canva. And that has been her biggest time commitment lately. But I'm excited that as I step into this role being full-time, fully self-employed again, it's also when Bev is kind of stepping up into new things too. So I'm really excited to see how this grows. And I'll keep you guys updated as the team shifts and evolves, how people are helping me, how I'm outsourcing, how I'm delegating, and anything else like that you guys are interested in. Feel free to ask me and I can create some content around that. And then, like I mentioned, my second contractor currently is a podcast editor. So I was editing a lot of the podcasts myself, and I'm happy with the quality. I know it wasn't the best quality audio, but I'm not dissatisfied with it. But really, it got down to the point of just time and how I liked spending my time and where I was a bottleneck, because I was definitely a bottleneck with the editing. I have no problem sitting down and recording like 4 episodes back to back, especially when I'm in a good state of mind. But when it came to the editing, I was so slow. I kept putting it off. It isn't a process that I truly enjoy. And I just realized that it was time to find someone else who does enjoy it, who's better at it, who's faster at it, and who can help us kind of streamline content creation so that Bev and I can be focusing our energy on some higher level stuff. Speaking of higher level, I am so excited that I am bringing back one-on-one coaching. I love working with women in this one-on-one capacity. It's so impactful, so transformative, so much fun to really get to know my clients and understand what they're trying to achieve and help them achieve them, whether that's project planning or accountability or strategy that I can help them with or mindset blocks we can overcome. There's so many different ways we can work together and tools to improve your life and help you get to where you're trying to go with your business. But I'm so excited to be working with women in this capacity again. So if you want to learn more about coaching and what my options are for how we can work together, be sure to go to meganmins.com/coaching so that you can learn more and see what next steps are in case you're interested in working together. But part of this has been that actually for the past few months, I've been going through a certification program. Now, I'm not done with it yet. I'm not certified yet, but I am going through the Yes Supply coaching method, her certification, the Yes Supply certification training. And it does include actually 5 certifications. And I'll be sure to include a link beneath this podcast in case you want to learn more. If you're trying to be a coach as well, I would highly recommend this certification. I've been blown away by Reese from Yes Supply and the community that is in this program. It's amazing. But there are 5 certifications that I will be getting. And the first one is life and success coaching. Second one is NLP practitioner. So that is neuro-linguistic programming, which is very exciting. There's also EFT, time techniques, and hypnotherapy. And hypnotherapy is not what you think it is. You don't actually go into a trance or anything. But, I'm just still digging into this. This is a very thorough certification program. And I actually won't get certified until I go to the live event in September in Toronto, but I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. So that's something that's been going on behind the scenes. I'm digging into her bonus. That's a coaching course as well. So I've been doing that for the past few months, and I'm excited to really lean into coaching in my business, working with people in this capacity, helping really transform my clients' lives, and then to continue to learn as well about all of these different certifications and different tools and techniques that I can loop into our work together with clients. So that is a big part of the business that's shifting, and it's a brand new offering definitely for this year and in a new way than I've ever done coaching before. There are a few different ways we can work together there at this time, at least. If you're listening to this farther in the future, you'll just need to go to the page to see what all is available. But at this time, there's going to be the opportunity to work with me in a one-off session or a breakthrough session, where we just do one session together. And then there's going to be a chance to work with me ongoing. I do have very limited spots for clients because I can't just fill up my whole calendar with client calls. And I really want to make sure that the clients I'm working with, I can give my fullest attention. So I won't be working with the highest volume of people right now. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, I would encourage you to go ahead and look at that sooner rather than later so that you don't miss a chance at working together when the time is right for you. But that is a big thing going on behind the scenes for me right now. So those are some of the bigger changes that have been going on. Switching to being fully self-employed again, hiring a team, starting coaching, and there's so much more to come in 2019. I feel so excited about this year. I feel like my perspective is so different. I know I touched on the mindset thing earlier, but really, I'm approaching my business and my life in a way that I never have before. I've always really relied on strategy and project plans and a certain order to do things, and this is the right way to do them, and being really strict and intense about it. And that usually led to a lot of work and a lot of planning and a lot of down in the dirt and kind of things feeling hard. And I didn't know better at the time. And y'all, that served me. Like I'm not starting from scratch as I leave my full-time job. I'm not starting from zero. I do have a successful business that I'm coming back to. And so those strategies can get you somewhere. Not saying they don't work. They've served me. But as I try to step into this higher level version of myself, the life I really want, the business I really want, I'm having to let go of thinking that way. I still love project planning and action steps, and don't get me wrong, I do those. Those are important. But I think the shift comes from, I used to think about things like, okay, I know, let's say I have an idea for doing a mini course. And I know that a mini course will help bring in some revenue. So old Megan would say, okay, I'm going to do a mini course. Now, what do I want it to be about? It could be this, it could be that. Okay, yeah, let's do that. And then I would execute that and create this mini course, and it would make money. So again, it works. But what I have found and what I have learned over the past year or longer is that approach will only get you so far. And it's honestly not very fun. Like, that is not a fun way to operate your business. You start to come at it from like a making money angle. It gets really stressful. There becomes this big pressure. Creating things feels really hard and resistant. And I'm really trying to avoid putting myself in that spot in this new version of my life and my business. Instead of identifying a way to make money and then finding out what I want it to be about, I am doing the exact opposite. So I may want to do a mini course. I may say, that's a good idea. I should do that. Or like, I want to do a webinar. I know I want to do that. But instead of sitting there and forcing it, I am waiting until inspiration strikes, until I have an idea that I want to take action on, until I know, oh, yes, that needs to be out there. And then I can pick the medium in which I deliver it. And that has been a radical change for me. So instead of sitting there and saying, how do I make money, and reverse engineering that plan, I'm going at it a different direction. And y'all, I'm in the nitty gritty of that. I'm in the down and dirty of it. I am doing it right now. And I'm not trying to act like it's super comfortable. Every single day I'm having to fight my instincts to reverse engineer a project plan and reverse engineer a revenue goal. And again, I'm not even sure that I'll never do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. There is a strategy behind that that's smart. But I think there has to be a blend to it, for me at least, to be happy, to enjoy the work I'm creating, to enjoy how I'm working with people, and honestly, to make selling easy. Have you ever created something free or paid and believed in it so much? And like, how easy was that to sell or promote? So freaking easy, right? So that is the kind of energy I'm trying to intentionally put out there. So I don't want to create something or launch something or start doing something unless there's that energy behind it, because I know it's going to have a huge ripple effect on not only the actual sales that come from it, but how I feel doing it, the results people have from it, and all of that stuff. And that even applies to this podcast. You know, when I sat down to record, I've actually recorded 4 episodes tonight. And when I sat down to do this, I'll be honest, I had 4 other topics planned. I didn't have any of these planned. And the reality was, I sat here and I fell into my old habits for a minute. And I started trying to like force myself to outline a different topic. And I was like, you know what? I'm like 0% inspired to talk about that right now. That episode's going to fall flat if I just try to do it. I'm sure it will help someone, but it's going to fall flat and it's not going to feel fun. And I'm going to feel drained. And I want to have fun. I want to enjoy this life and this business. And so I sat there and I realized, what do I feel inspired to talk about? What does feel easy for me to share? What do I have a lot to say about? And I went with that. And look, here I am. I have no outline for this. I'm just updating you guys like you're my friends, which I view you as my friend. And this is one of my favorite episodes I've ever recorded. And I don't know, it just has been such a testament to me that when I come from this place of inspiration and fun and joy and pleasure, I get more out of it. Other people get more out of it. And it has this broader ripple effect. It means more. It matters more. It's more fun. There's less intensity. There's less stress. There's less pressure. There's less anxiety. I also feel like less attached to the outcome of this. I don't really care how many downloads this episode gets. I mean, they're great. And I appreciate every single listen and download. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not attached to the outcome because the art of creating it was so pleasurable. And I just trust that the right people are going to listen to it. And then it's out of my hands. And that has been a radical different, like even from 2 months ago, even from when I started the first episode, like all of this has been so different for me. And I think that plays into like another big thing that's been going on. I've been really exploring mindset and a more spiritual side, some woo-woo, if you call it woo-woo, and law of attraction and affirmations and journaling and visualization. And I'm totally holding a crystal right now while we record this, and wearing jewelry that means more to me than just looks cute. It has like significance behind it. And it's just been a whole new game for me. I never considered myself an intuitive person. And to me, a lot of woo-woo mindset stuff, law of attraction, a lot of that you hear people talk about it being connected with intuition. And I think once you dig into it, you realize it is. So I never, before that, thought I was intuitive. So it never felt like something that was really open to me. It never felt like something I could even participate in. It felt way too out there. I had a lot of preconceived notions about what it meant. But gradually over 2019, I have just been open to it for a few different reasons, but I've become open to it. And whether or not you're woo-woo or spiritual or religious or conservative or none of it, like I do think and believe that mindset is so, so important. And I knew that. I've known that for years. But again, I was coming at it from more of like a logical, strategic standpoint. Now I'm coming at it from more of a true emotional and like life altering way where I can see and feel the instant impact when my mindset is improved. And I'm actually, I don't know exactly when episodes are going live. So I don't know if it'll be before or after this, but I am going to have an episode about my affirmations and what affirmations I'm using, how I'm using them. And if that's out already, be sure to listen to it. If not, stay tuned. It'll be out in a few weeks. But I want you guys to know this is something I'll be sharing more about. I'm still in the curiosity, the exploratory, the learning side of things. And I'm loving it. And I'm just letting myself play. It feels like a hobby. It feels like a wonderful thing that I can play in, a new world to explore in. And it has really positive impacts on my actual life and business and mindset and how I spend my time and how I feel. So definitely more to come, but it's been a really, really incredible thing. So I started listening to the book Law of Attraction, and that really opened up my mind in a lot of ways. I haven't actually even finished it yet, but that was crazy. And I just started talking to people. Some of my business friends are more woo-woo or into that kind of stuff. And I just started asking questions and following my curiosity. And it's been a really fun journey. So I'll share more about that. Obviously, I feel like I don't have perfect lessons learned yet, but mindset has been huge for me this year so far. This past month or two in particular, it has changed everything about the way I look at the world and my business and my time and my job. And I'm excited to share more. But I wanted to give you guys a little taste of that. And on a more personal note, I actually didn't even think I was going to share this when I sat down to record this episode, but I just feel like I can't not share it. My husband and I had a miscarriage in January of this year, and that has been a journey that's affected everything for me this year. We were at our 8-week appointment and found out there was no heartbeat and the baby stopped growing. And we had to go through that experience of a miscarriage and what that, not only the physical trauma of like what that's like as a woman having to go through that with your body, but as a couple, it really didn't change our relationship, but it challenged it and it stretched it and it grew it. And it brought us together in a lot of ways too. Neither of us had ever really been through something like that. And it totally changed the whole trajectory for 2019. I thought we would be having a baby in the summer, and I'm definitely not pregnant right now, drinking my red wine. And, it's changed things for us. And I don't really know exactly what the point is, but I just felt like it's worth noting when we're talking about life and business updates and what's going on with me is that it's definitely impacted me. And it's been something I really struggled with for a long time. And I don't want to pretend to be healed. I'm actually looking for a therapist right now to help me really continue to heal. I have a tendency to repress things and bury them, and then they like explode in emotions. And I know that's not healthy. And I want to be on the journey. I want to continue to be on the journey to recovery. And, with future family planning, having gone through that has totally rocked my world with just grief. And I'm afraid to go through that again. And, it's been a whole thing. So that was something we went through. My husband and I went through. We're still going through it. We're still figuring it out. We're still figuring out what we want to do next, if we're ready to dig right into trying to get pregnant again, or if we want to take a break, and how we want to go forward as a family and with our goals. So, but it did change things. And honestly, even with, my career, my business, my job, when we went through that, it's kind of just an unexpected, I don't want to say reality check, but I've said this before. My friend Bev, who's a mother who works with me, but Bev always talks about, as a mom, there's trade-offs, and it's not about balance, but it's about intentional trade-offs of what is worth that time exchange. And I think when we were pregnant, I started to realize, what trade-offs do I want to make? What trade-offs are worth it for me? And then I felt a little trapped. And that's not just specific to my job, but in a lot of different ways. It felt like it was too late to get healthy. It felt like it was too late to do XYZ. It felt like people that love me were telling me that I couldn't be self-employed while I'm pregnant because that would be irresponsible. I couldn't leave a secure job and be self-employed because that's irresponsible when you're pregnant. And that was not a good feeling. I disagree with that. And maybe I'll talk more about that later. Love those people. Like, it's totally fine. We're great. But it was just not the perspective I expected. And it wasn't how I felt. And then when we went through the miscarriage, I think it was just like an opportunity for me to make changes and to stop waiting and to take charge of my life and to take advantage of it. And I think that kind of spurred on some of the radical change I've been doing this quarter that when I started 2019, I wasn't sure I would be making. That wasn't part of the plan. And going through this has changed me. And I actually have a whole blog post written about the miscarriage. I've almost shared about it so many times. I have audio clips where I'm just processing what it was like. And I want to be a part of the dialogue of not exposing miscarriage, but talking about it, making it not so full of stigma. Because for me as a woman, it felt like something I couldn't talk about and publicly. My friends have been so wonderfully supportive, but sharing it with friends who didn't even know we were pregnant was so hard. And I felt like in those moments where I was dealing with it in the most, especially when you have all the questions you find out you're going to and you don't know what to expect, I found the most comfort from other women's stories, whether it's on social media or a blog post or even like a forum post from 2002. Those were so helpful just to hear other women going through the exact same thing I was. So I do want to be a part of that story. And this feels like a step in sharing it. And I hope to share more about it and be more open about it all. But I don't know, that's really changed 2019 for me. And obviously that happened before I even started the podcast. And it's just something that I kind of keep not talking about. So this is me talking about it for the first time. So that's been a big thing going on personally. And yeah, I mean, I didn't really intend to even go into that. So now I feel like that is not how I want to end this episode. But I think I just want to circle back around to some of the bigger lessons I've learned overall, personal and with business. It's kind of going back to that mindset thing of just really trying to step into this place where it's not about hustle and like filling every single slot on your calendar with something. Instead, it's about really focusing on being the person that you want to be first and then doing the actions that follow up with it. And I don't have that perfectly figured out yet. I'm still definitely working on that identity shift. But, I have changed my morning routine a little bit to be more focused on the mindset, the mental, emotional side of things. So instead of just getting out of bed and like ticking things off my to-do list quickly, I make sure I have more luxurious time in my morning to focus on the journaling, the visualizing, the mindset stuff that's really going to help me be the person that I'm trying to be. And that's how I'm going to build the business I want to build. That's how I'm going to connect with my dream clients. That's how I'm going to achieve those things, is not necessarily by sitting there and hustling and like doing the most. It's by doing less, but doing it from a different place mentally. Whew, I don't even know if that made sense. But man, it's been a really interesting 2019 so far. There's been so many changes. I am so excited for what's to come. Again, as of the time you're listening to this, I am fully self-employed again. You're going to be seeing more content coming from me, not promotions, but more offers, more chances for me to work with you, for me to help you, for me to teach you, to guide you, to collaborate with you, to connect with you. And I have some really big, exciting plans for this year, you guys. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how it actually unfolds as I go into this year too, because I really am staying open to it evolving in a way I don't even expect. And I'm just focusing on taking the next step at a time and seeing where it goes. So that's what's been going on with me. Again, if you want to work with me one-on-one in any capacity, definitely go to meganminz.com/coaching to find out more about that and sign up to work with me and learn more. But I can't wait. I so appreciate you listening, you supporting. Every time you guys send a DM to me on Instagram, share this podcast on your stories, leave a comment on my post, send me an email, and all the other incredible ways you guys support me and engage with me and connect with me really fill me up in a way that I can't even verbalize. I genuinely love you guys and love you and appreciate you and want to know you and engage with you and help you. So I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what you thought about this episode. I don't think I'll do big updates like this all the time, but this felt like a pretty good opportunity to share some big changes going on, some more about what's been happening with me behind the scenes, and going from there. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I can't wait to hear from you, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to the Productive Life podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean so much to me if you would share your biggest takeaway on your Instagram stories or wherever you hang out online. This helps me understand what you find the most helpful so that I can make more episodes like this one. If the Productive Life podcast has helped you at all, please take just 1 minute to leave a review on iTunes so that we can help spread the word about the productive life with others who may enjoy it. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast to get the latest episodes sent directly to you. To learn more about having a productive life and business, as well as getting access to lots of freebies, blog posts, trainings, templates, workshops, and more, be sure to go to meganminns.com. I'll see you in the next episode.